So you finally found the perfect product for your e-commerce business, but you don't know where to start with the shipping. Well, a lot of people get stuck on the shipping part because it can actually cost a lot more than the product itself. So in this video, I invited a guest speaker who actually owns a shipping company and is a freight forwarder and can ship to most places worldwide, especially in regions like Europe, USA, and Canada. And we're going to be discussing the different shipping hacks that you can learn and some tips, especially if you're new to this, so that you can avoid making these mistakes. So, going into the intro, right here, I have my friend Eric. He's in charge of a company called Superton, and right now he is based in Shenzhen. So, Eric, would you mind introducing yourself for the crowd?
Yes, this is Eric. I'm from Shenzhen, China, and now right forward in China, we help the e-commerce seller or the bidding company, their packages or from China to other.
Yeah, and the first thing I kind of want to discuss if is somebody finds like the ideal product for their market, what would you recommend based on all the kinds of product types that you have shipped overseas for people that are starting out to select for their e-commerce store? Because you can ship like create like makeup, you can ship figurines, you can ship like stuff with batteries, cell phones, watches. So what do you think is the most profitable that includes a product price and especially the shipping price?
Um, I think this in terms of the margin rate, I think the smaller I the percentage will be higher. In terms of most popular stuff would be, clothing and like women's and electronic artists.
So can you go a little bit more specific in the clothing because there are different kinds of clothing you can sell? Like you mean your own brand, other brands, shoes, shirts? What specifically?
Um, how do I say? Well, um, so it still depends. For example, before the ads, when the effect otherwise was very it says women clothing was very popular. It was easy to sell and lately that there's a lot of people to drop shipping capacity to sell this branded clothing or replica. I don't think this is illegal. We have customers.
I know it can get pretty tough when it comes to the branded items. I have some people ask me about that every once in a while.
Yeah.
Would you mind sharing with the audience what you think the advantages and disadvantages are of shipping sea versus air freight or versus line or rail, and what kind of business model better fits each one?
Okay. In terms of, I think the option for colors is not too many. Basically, for the e-commerce business, your first service like official, also we call specific. That is also right. And this, I think with e-commerce, if you are in China, uh, options are quite many. Like uh, like UPS, FedEx, still very popular among importers. Also for items which are available and you want to handle the convenience, then you can use the air freight, which is DDP model, delivery paid. And then if not in, and also the cargo is very big, and then I was in safe flight, and safe flight of course, available for regions, and also for countries like Europe or or Central Asia. There is another one available by train, and for in Southeast Asia, there is also parking company service.
Yeah, and I kind of want to add on to that. So and you can see Eric has a lot of experience worldwide shipping, so he can definitely help you with consultation if you need to get in contact with him about shipping to different countries. He can recommend you the right routes, and he probably even has contacts for like specific shipping lines that
Yeah.
may be needed. Like, I can get you special pricing, and he can definitely help you with that. Speaking of people that need some consultation, do you have any insights about the biggest mistakes that people make when they're first starting out in this e-commerce business that you see quite happen quite often?
Okay, so your mistakes, most cases are for the new player or new. So the mistakes they are making is they are trying to get into uh, how do I call it? So every time when people ask me, can you tell me some products or a hot sale product? I think this is something not really getting into at the beginning. If you are looking at those products, you are getting into competition, which means you with like equal investment and then you compete with people who are very experienced or with a lot of investment. So do not go into the products or I'm just going to those very niche market because first of all it will easy sales and also to boost your morale. This is very important. And also there are some other people. I want to do my own brand and just again it's basically e-commerce. So because it's about brand, you have to invest in your own design, or photo, and when we're talking about this, a lot of sellers were suppliers responsible for any of you, which is gonna be a lot of money. So the whole time will be very long. So in conclusion, what I want to say is just find a niche market. Do not really go to sell or trendy product. Second, focus on some sales. I want to do my own brand.
Okay, yeah. So a couple things I want to add there is that if you're starting out, as Eric mentioned, there's different kinds of categories for those starting out. So there's a people that just see a hot selling product, and that can be kind of risky. Plus, the competition will be fierce. So if you go on like
Yes.
AliExpress and just go to like the drop shipping, and they're like, "Oh, these are the top hottest selling items," well, you're probably competing with someone that already has an established brand, already has established marketing campaign, like they have funding and a budget for Facebook and YouTube ads. And they've been doing this for a while and probably have an Amazon store with a lot of reviews and customer feedback. So if you just copy and paste, you are at risk of just getting drowned out by the competition. Also
Very
realize
true.
that these hot selling products, that if these competitors are working with you, they probably buy in bulk. And when they buy in bulk, they can sell it for cheaper than you can if you just buy it one at a time and drop ship it. So the difference
Very
is that you take on more risk if you buy in bulk, but you get better profit margins at the end if you do end up selling the product in the platform. Another thing he mentioned is that you're going into your own niche, and that is Very important because that makes you unique. What makes you unique from everyone else out there trying to sell something? That is something that you have a niche in, something you have interest in. I hope this in a
Yeah,
lot of videos of mine. It's like, yep, this
for sure.
is something that I have a hobby in, and I want to pursue this in selling in the future because I already buy products like this. And then if you can make it your own, as in add your logo, add your unique design, but then you're gonna have to balance your initial budget and obviously your capital in the beginning. So you kind of have to find a balance between just trying something out and investing a lot. Because the more unique and customized you can make it, essentially the harder it is to copy you, the easier it would be for you to sell the product in the future when you actually establish those channels. Now, before continuing on with the rest of the interview, are you tired of not being able to? I do want to discuss about a platform that I have developed for you guys in the event that you guys want to buy the cheapest products in the sourcing platforms in China. So, if you don't know, there's AliExpress and Alibaba. These are the international versions of the the sourcing platforms in China. But little people know that there's a domestic version that's probably 30 to 50% of the price cheaper. And a lot of people don't know
Yeah.
this. And these are platforms like 168, Taobao, and Pinduoduo. So if you're interested in buying from these platforms directly, you can simply scan the code on the screen and then you can create an account and try for free. And essentially, I give you access to these websites that you can only get access to if you have an Alipay account or if you have a Chinese bank account. But I figured out a way so that you get access directly and you can buy the products at the cheapest pricing possible. If you're interested in something like that, just scan the code on the screen and you can sign up for free. So going into the next topic is some of the trends that you see that's happening in the shipping industry, because I know there's
Yeah.
different kinds of, you know, different behaviors that are happening, especially now with the pandemic, that there may be kind of different actions that shipping companies are taking. I just want to hear your perspective of what's happening right now with the e-commerce industry.
So 6 years, for a lot of in terms of price, up and down. Now, finally, shipping price has increased a lot, and also every time is people and and also in terms of things, what I can say in the past, you the terms will be taught here will be they will have ambiguous thing, but now it's different. Now even you just ask for one item, there are many sellers who are. So this means, for example, a guy in a small township in the US, he will not have or ability to call from the supplier directly. But now, help like a Borderless, you can just buy whatever you or even one piece, you can go from China. So let me take a very simple scenario. Example, you live in a small town or big city where you have some or you can sell product. You can just like borderless commerce to have all the suppliers or and with comparatively much lower price compared to the you can start your own business. Well, frankly, it takes e-commerce has been harder and harder to start as a completely new thing because the traffic online is more expensive. But what if you have a offline? You can still use this site from China to start a business around people, around their people. I mean, where you are to or this is something I think we want to start up. is something worth a try.
Yeah, and also to add on that, if you want or have an idea for your e-commerce store, you can reach out to us. Again, I will be putting the information for either to reach out to myself or to Eric in the description below. Speaking about Alipay and getting access to the supplier directly instead of using like a middle platform, middleman. A lot of people have problems paying suppliers and also paying shipping companies in China because sometimes the shipping companies don't have a USD account or foreign currency account. They only have RMB. So, what are some ways that your company accepts payments when it comes to the shipping, or some methods that you've practiced that kind of work best for your clients?
Well, in terms of international payments, it's really a because there's a very percentage of service fee and also the currency loss, especially the US. Well, US dollar is pretty, so you can see that you have uh, importing from China, but also you will see the may rise as well. But and we have to view this problem from different factors. So from a point of view of especially when you just started, where you have other big suppliers in China, I think PayPal will actually to protect you because if you don't want to get scammed, PayPal will be the to protect. But you have to hire fee around I think 5 to 5%. Nevertheless, that argue the fee charged by PayPal. From a perspective, we definitely prefer the banking wire. So the supplier with teeth, and also there are also some like tools like Payoneer, First, Wise, this kind of online or internet payment. So compared to PayPal, the protection for a buyer, uh, you know, no, is the compared to the protection level is, but you can save quite a bit of money. And if you want to, let's say, if you have the whole deal is very big, in most cases, the supplier is a bank wire, not save another money. When you have transfer, that means it's already well established the supplier which
Yeah, I would definitely agree with most of those points there, Erica. Thank you. Something I want to share with the crowd. So, if you're just starting, pay for the extra protection, as Eric
mm,
was mentioning, because there's different scams that can happen to anybody. So, when you're paying through PayPal, you have the seller and buyer protection program there. Even though the fees are expensive, that's what you're paying for. You're paying for the protection. As a next level, you want to pay directly in the platforms because in the platforms in China, you can get the money back within 7 days, no questions asked, as long as you take action. So, if someone sends you a product and it's fake and it's wrong, you can complain about it within 7 days of receiving it and then send it back and get a refund, no questions asked. But as you build the relationships, just realize that you guys have the power when it comes to negotiating if you can pay the supplier or the shipping company in RMB, whether it's on Alipay or through direct branch transfers. I've actually had some customers that tested out some suppliers. Once they gained the trust, they both signed a contract for a large order. And the contract had different clauses in it, like, okay, I'll give you 50% deposit and you start producing, 1,000 products of whatever they built and they needed. And then once they signed and agreed, then they did a bank transfer via a platform like Payoneer or Wise. And because these platforms can pay them directly in RMB, they don't have to worry about the exchange rates and the currency exchange. And you can negotiate more for the pricing and ultimately get higher profit margins for your e-commerce store. These are some things that Eric pointed out that's very important when it comes to actually paying shipping companies. And if you're just getting started, yes, you can use his services with PayPal so that you can feel safe that your products are in good hands and will be shipped to you. So, with that being said, Eric, to kind of wrap it up, what are some of the best ways that the audience can contact you if they want to use your services?
An email, or you guys can wait. Just scan my WeChat.
Okay, great. So I'll be adding his email and his WeChat ID in the description below if you're watching this on the replay. Well, thank you so much, Eric, for joining us. I hope the audience can gain some insight about some shipping trips, tips, and hacks so that they can have the most profit for your business.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think there are a lot of things talking or show the, the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, and
There's so many things.
I look forward to having more conversations with you about, you know, more details about specific parts of the shipping process that people may not know.
Okay.
So I hope you enjoyed that guest interview. And if you liked and found value from this video, please smash that like button and consider subscribing for more tips about running your e-commerce business. I'll catch you in the next video.